Let me tell you guys the story of how 3 crazy med students were crazy enough to spend the past year making a music video. Two med students spent a year being fellow musicians, figuring out ways to fit their passion back into their lives while struggling physically, mentally, and socially in quarantine, while the other med student had his senior year of college cut short before entering med school in the midst of COVID. Separately, they all wanted to help, but didn't know how. Barred from the walls of the hospital because they're just med students and confined to the walls of their bedrooms, they took to the internet, uploading videos of musical performances in hopes that it would keep those watching and, well, quite frankly, those creating said videos a little bit saner than before. The two musicians wanted to conclude their Songs of Comfort series with a rendition of Kanye's Runaway, but twisted in a new beautiful fantasy that was able to thank the essential frontline workers who've sacrificed so much over the past year to save and change lives. Then came the last med student, some rando first year with a small YouTube channel, but who understood the value of storytelling and how it could heal where medications couldn't reach. From that point, the three of them, an unstoppable creative project and a lifelong friendship began.
8-pack, 12 maybe. He might have a 12-pack hiding in there, and I'm not talking about beer. I just have a 1-pack. Big old Foster. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So cool.
I could try to turn away. I forget all of the names. She won't look at me the same. She won't look at me the same. I could try to turn away. Try to turn away. I forget all of the names. She won't look at me the same. It's alright. Try to shift the blame. Change your mind. Cruise. Camera crew sailing straight from Bermuda. Bazookas. Shooting out fireworks from the Cuda. The light show. She said she think that she just saw Buddha. And that's the spirit. Acting like what you just took was Sudafed.
Damn it! Ready?
Yeah.
Damn, Richet's in the... Lean too much into it, that's your problem.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Because it like skews the centering. Alright, go, 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 go.
Sorry, yeah, guard. I didn't. Wait, are we looking at the camera at the last? Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Wait, I'm sorry, I put that up.
No!
That looks so cool.
You can. Yeah, we're on the roof. This is insane. Tyler, say hi. Michelle, hi. Those were the hours, the laughter, the memories that only me, Tyler, and Riche saw. And to be honest, it kept us all alive because, if you haven't figured out by now, med school doesn't exactly want you to do stuff like this. Med school does a really good job of trying to force you to become a robot, and I don't know about you guys, I don't want a robot as my doctor. The funniest comment I always get on that video as well as others is this looks really good for a med student, which honestly has led me to one of my biggest reflections throughout this entire process. That entire music video could not have been made possible if it wasn't for 3 med students who united in their understanding that their creative passions could not die and should not die in medical school. We all realize that creative passions were able to quite literally breathe life into somebody who desperately needed it and bring a ray of joy in a torrential thunderstorm for potential families who might be having it way, way worse than us right now. The biggest misconception about med school is that once you get here, everything goes out the window and that med students in general are just no good for anything other than studying for 12 hours a day. And I'm glad that we were able to personally debunk that myth. Within the first couple weeks of release, we were honestly just overwhelmed with personal messages, emails, texts coming in from deans of other med schools all the way to kindergartner teachers we've never even met before, telling us that, one, we made them cry, which I guess as a creative is the highest compliment because we were able to express and portray emotion that well, I guess. But 2, and most importantly, that they were able to feel appreciated and that they had the necessary reminder that their work and their sacrifices were all not in vain and that they were impacting lives way more than they could understand. They truly were heroes that rose up in the darkest of circumstances and they triumphed over it. And yeah, we were incredibly blessed to even get a bit of local press to help us to fulfill our mission of spreading our message of gratitude to our essential workers to as far as we could. And yeah, even a few med influencers picked it up too, which was kind of cool. But at the end of the day, regardless of whether the video got 200 or 200,000 views, if one person out there was able to see our video and get the smile that they so desperately needed that day, then all of our work was 110% worth it. So to the med student who's considering giving up all their creative passions simply because it won't show up on a CV, please don't. You don't understand the power and the potential that you have to bring more happiness and joy into someone's life than a prescription could. And I promise you, during your residency interview, you will have way more meaningful and impactful conversations about your creative work than talking about one of your publications. So as I near the end of my first year of medical school and people begin to ask me, what was medical school like? What are you most going to remember from your experience in med school? I'm not going to tell them the countless hours studying or the sleepless nights before exams. Nah. Everybody has those. What I am going to tell them about is all the friends that eventually became family, all the memories I made that eventually turned into legacy, and the impossibilities that then turned into reality. All because I didn't let the social pressures of being the typical medical student ever force me to put down my camera. To Rashay and Tyler, you guys mean the world to me. Obviously you guys are literally one of the most talented people I've ever met before in my life. And I know you're beginning rotations. Good luck. I know you're going to be incredible blessings to your patients. And to my audience, both new and old, thank you so much for watching. Love you guys. And can't wait to see what's next.